Hey!
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Down and Up podcast. New episode. We're so excited. Thank you so much for the love that you've shown us on our previous episode. We're really, really glad that you chose to journey with us. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, to like,
Comment.
share, comment.
Yeah,
Please
just do it
let
all.
us know
Yeah.
if we're, really wasting your time or not. But also...
Mama, don't do like that.
just turn on the notification bell so
Yeah.
that anytime we release podcasts, you are able to see it. And a big thank you to Spire Creative for producing this amazing podcast.
For sure.
You'd never see our faces if
Surely.
it weren't for them.
How
But
are
if you're hearing our voices also,
Yeah.
just hearing, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, you might be using all the various platforms. I preferred audio in my previous
Because you're
life.
shy.
Yeah, but also because when I'm listening on a podcast, like just the audio side, it's not counting screen time. Think about it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's new and
Yeah.
wise.
But I have a couple of people who are so glad that we are now visual. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks a
joining
lot.
us already. Yeah, today I
As
want
you
to start
can
by
see-
asking how we are because where did you find this stranger?
So, last time we were just like, how did we do it just the two of us?
Okay.
We kind of need someone else. So we like roamed the streets of Kampala and we asked God to put a halo on someone's head.
Is it?
And I saw it on hers. And yeah, so we're all going to get to know her.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Mama, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Gloria.
Interesting.
That's
Gloria.
Yeah.
At least Gloria is good, yeah. You're now the one with the bad jokes. That's you?
It's okay.
It is well.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you.
Thank you.
Gloria.
Glad to
Gloria
be here.
is a well of wisdom.
Let
While
me
we
tell
are
you
pretending that
we
we
don't
don't
know
know
her.
her, believe me.
Our careers have been really
Yeah,
shaped
that's true.
for a big part by her.
Yeah.
I somehow feel like part of the reason you're saying that is because I was once in a position that determined whether you got contracts or not.
Exactly.
So you feel like you have to be nice.
No, not really, but like, thank you.
Yes. Thanks for
because,
taking
yeah.
a chance on us.
Yes.
Really. Now we get to say it
You have
publicly.
not disappointed. Thank you.
Yay. No, but seriously, we are so happy to have you today.
I'm
and
glad to be here.
we're about to have an amazing conversation
Yes.
that I can't wait for. Anyways, not so long ago, maybe long ago, really. I think it was maybe last year. I was having a conversation with this friend,
Okay.
acquaintance, and she said she lost her relationship with the church,
Okay.
but she's in love with the Lord. She never lost her relationship with God.
Okay.
And she was just basically trying to justify why she doesn't go to church. She is a professing Christian, but she's like, me. I love God,
Me as
but
me.
I can't stand his people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
I just can't do it. I'd rather just sit at home and attend the online service and just pray alone, turn on some music and just worship the Lord on my own.
Meanwhile, this week, I saw somewhere that, when your friend joins radio, be ready to be. The example, we apologize.
Sorry, guys.
Usually, just
Sorry.
bear with us.
Yeah,
But
if you are watching and you're like, ew, but this chick.
it's not true. Many people have told us this story.
Some of them are just on Twitter even. Just read a
yes,
tweet. So
just could have, come
Yeah.
across a Facebook post,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, but what you're talking about is not new because I also know one, two, many versions. I don't know. Gloria, do you know any people? Have you ever been these people?
Yeah.
Hey.
Who said that? Me as me.
Me as me.
I want to do my God thing alone.
It's just me and God.
Yeah. Us against the world.
The first time it happened, it has been more than
So it happened
okay.
the first time.
Come on.
The first time it happened, I remember I'd finished campus. So when I was in campus, I was super involved in watoto cells. I started by being the person you invite to cell and they refuse to come for like a whole semester.
Trust.
And I was like, these people nag me. So I used to, for whatever reason, from S6 into like uni, I didn't trust the fellowship of believers. I thought people were very pretentious. So I'd think, so now I have to greet you when I find you on the compound just because we were in the same fellowship. Like
Yes.
we're not friends like
Even-
that.
even hug.
Like I have to
Yeah.
hug you, I have to celebrate you. I'm showing up for your birthday. Like we are not there yet. I
Yeah.
can't just like you because we're in the same fellowship. So I was very, very averse to fellowships. And so when I joined uni, from VAC into like uni, I was on vibes. So my VAC fellowship, I am known by name, but I did not show up, not even once.
It is well.
So-
Okay. So not even for the like potlucks.
Did they even know they were happening? So VAC into first year, I'm on vibes, really. Just living my good life.
But you're
living my
Christian
best
this whole
life.
time?
Well,
Kind of.
I professed Jesus a while back. So it's like that is a constant. I haven't unprofessed him.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I get disappointed. Like then I say it crying, saying, Jesus, I miss you. This world where I thought you were, that I left you for, it is meaningless. And so when I'm in year one, second semester, I say I'm going to do what I know to do. I'm going to go to church every Sunday. I'm going to look for God the way I know how to
Yeah.
find God. I was at Chambogo, woo woo woo. So, and I was at Chambogo. I'd been at Nabisunsa, so I said, what do I know? Go to Kakumba Chapel. Let me go to chapel.
Yeah.
That's something I know. So I went to chapel every Sunday. And then a friend of mine had bought The Purpose Driven Life. Turns out he liked inspirational books, except he was a Muslim.
Okay.
And he did not know that The Purpose Driven Life was a Christian
Christian
book. Hi, Lego.
And did you just call him?
Yes.
So he gave it to me. He said, hey, there's this book I bought, but then I just found out it's a Christian book. So he gave it to me. And then I started reading it. Meanwhile, the room next to mine, they used to have sale every Wednesday. And every Wednesday they invited me. And every Wednesday I nodded my head. And every Wednesday I didn't
You
show
didn't
up.
show up. Like it so
I'd be
much.
like, don't nag me. So Anita would smile. So fast forward, I'm reading this book I love to read, and there is a chapter about worship, and they talk about how fellowshipping is part of worshiping. And I said, there is no way. That was
How?
the first time I wrestled
How?
with God in my life. I said, there's no way. Lord, can't I love you, just you and
Just-
me?
yeah.
We don't need the
must other
rest.
people be
These
involved?
people,
Why?
what do we need them for? I wrestled with it the whole semester. And I went for the I wrestled and I said, but God, I love you. You I love. And if this is something you want me to do, let me go. So I went for the last sale of the semester. Just in case it sucks, I don't have
The
to go
last sale
back.
is usually swallowship,
Yeah,
like
it has
game
food,
night.
super nice. What? So I went and I liked it, and I was shocked that it was nice. Then we went for a long holiday. That's the internship holiday. But then I had already felt like, okay, maybe I might.
It's
maybe
worth a try.
it's worth a try. I want to go to church when I'm home. I would go to a church downtown. Didn't know any people there. Hey, but so when the new sem began, I came back. I loved cell. If there's anything I did on campus, was anything cell related. Cell leader, section leader. I skipped zonal.
You did it all.
Became regional leader. I did everything. I did all the events. That's all I did. I loved it so much. And then when I was finishing campus, I think I was really tired and I was trying to figure out so many things to do with life. And so it was also a strange thing for me to show up at church as just somebody who sits in the pews, because I was used to
Working.
finish service.
Yeah.
We're going to go sit at first time visitors table. And by the way, I did these things with so much joy. I loved them. I enjoyed them. But then afterwards, I was tired and I was transitioning out of it. So I come back home. I finished uni. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm at church. I feel strange, but I kept going. And then because I used to live with my mom, and during the week, you're working, you're not doing anything fantastic. We were eating random food. I think Vicky and I were talking about how when you're home, they expect that that's when the nice meal is going to be
Exactly, a
cooked.
full. Yeah.
So Sundays was the day I used to do that. Except I'm not a super chef. I don't cook very quickly. So it was either church or I cook. If I went to church, it's going to take forever.
Yeah.
There'd be so many different things. And I was a bit conflicted about it. I was a lot conflicted about it because while my mother would not stop me from going, she believes very differently from me. I could see what it was doing and how she was receiving this entire thing. So I remember asking God, what do I do? what do I do? And I remember hearing very clearly that for this season of your life, this is what your ministry is. And I say, ministry? Because I'd ask, if I don't go to church, what about ministry? Because
Yeah.
by then, my definition of ministry was I'm going to be
Serving
ushering,
in the
I'm going to be
house,
singing.
yeah.
And then God told me that for this season of your life, this is what
Yeah.
ministry looks like for now. And so that gave me peace. I thought it was just going to be a couple of months. So I used to watch Joseph Prince on Sunday at 10 while I'm cutting onions.
That's sweet.
Then you go fry things, come back. So what did Pastor Prince say?
Yeah.
And because I enjoyed him, I was listening. I still to this day I'm subscribed to his devotionals.
Yeah.
I discovered a group of friends who we fellowshipped with every Monday. Every Monday night we called it Bible study, but it was like Monday night therapy.
Yeah.
Really, we'd come and say, we were all either semi-employed, unemployed, same age
Somewhere.
group, somewhere there.
In between something.
But we'd show up and would ask the question, what is God teaching you this week? What did you learn? And we would very openly talk about God.
Yeah.
So for a very long season, that was it. I thought it was going to be 2 months. It was 4 years.
Wow.
Hey.
I literally started high school and finished.
Yes.
Almost finished.
Oh,
Right. It might have been even the year you started high school and finished. By the way, I won't tell you.
So this particular season wasn't necessarily hard. There was from what you said, there was a bit of exhaustion for ministry, but also your ministry had to shift to home.
But also honoring your parents.
Honoring, yes,
Yeah.
your ministry looked like honoring your parents. Now you said there was a fast. Now was there any other season where for you it was a thing of God?
Your people.
Honestly, your people have reached me here. I am hurt.
Yeah.
It's not even just, oh gosh, your people nag me, but like I'm genuinely carrying pain.
But they do nag me sometimes.
Oh, well, they still do. That's the
Yeah.
truth.
I
That's
mean,
not a
the
lie.
whole artist sang, try Jesus, don't try me. Not encouraging that, but
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. But was there ever a time where for you it was just like, God, honestly, you can see that I've tried. I've really, really tried, but I'm really hurt. I don't understand why a Christian would have done this, or things like that. Did you ever find yourself walking away because you were hurt?
Hurt, burnt out, conflicted, yes. But not from the church. How do I say this? So I have put a pause on being actively involved in church somewhere because I started feeling like,
Questions.
are we? It wasn't
Still.
necessarily a hard thing. I think
Yeah.
sometimes I think about we get mad on behalf of God, or we think we are mad on God's behalf, and
That
it's
one.
just us being irritated by certain things.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, I don't understand, I don't know if I agree anymore, and maybe it has been a distance thing.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the closest that has come from feeling like I've walked away from church was the first, second, third, because I have left multiple times.
Okay.
Okay.
In October 2020, when I was leaving work at Power
Yeah.
FM, I was so burnt out, and it was like the biggest conflict of my life, because that is a job that will never stop being important.
Yeah.
And if I cry, forgive me.
It is well.
That is a job that you will go to Canada, South Sudan, come back,
Yeah.
and being responsible for telling people about God
Yeah.
and encouraging them
Yeah.
will never not be important.
That's true.
That's so true.
Yeah.
But I was burnt out.
Yeah.
I worked through the pandemic. And there were so many things, You were there partially. Miracle had abandoned us.
You had done how? Anyway.
Guys, we miss seasons.
It is well.
So
Yeah.
it was, for me, that was really
Yeah.
difficult, because part of the prayer is like, God, am I abandoning you?
Yeah.
But I cannot lie. I'm
Yes.
also very tired.
Yeah.
I have no more to give.
I don't want, and I had a conversation with Chimera before, because I was frustrated when the pandemic, and then he showed up in one of my dreams, not to spook you out. So I have a dream about him, and I'm like, this is strange, and I really do pay attention to my dreams. So I tell my friends, like, did you tell him? I'm like, I don't know. So I text him, I say, hey, Sam, you were in my dream last night, la, 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 la. So I thought he was just going to say, like most people say, interesting.
I'll pray about it. Yeah.
Immediately he said, do you want to meet and talk about it? I said, he said, do you want me to talk about it, but you're buying coffee? I said, say no more. I was paid. Let's go eat breakfast at Java's. It was still 20K. 25. I don't know. Just know it wasn't this current money.
Yes.
So when we talked and I started sharing my frustrations, he helped me sort through my thoughts about work and not to condemn myself about the decision I was making.
Yeah.
But I was off radio from October 2020, only went back May 2022. Now in that season is where I started processing all my feelings, is when I realized how angry I had become, because I'd become at either the church or sometimes I didn't even know what I was angry at. I was angry.
Yeah.
So now, why do I feel so hurt? Why do I feel so angry? Why do I feel I had a roommate and it became the place that shall not be named?
Yeah.
And yet I brought it up every other day.
Yes.
So she would look at me like this. Then she listens to me rant. Then I'd come with my new revelation. Then my new realization.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of conflict, because now I had worked in a Christian organization 4 years and I'm on the outside. And it looked like, and I would like to call it an illusion, it looked like certain things were easier on the outside, but then they felt empty.
Yes.
So my conflict with God was, tell me as if I have the right. Like Job did that, then God said, if I can die,
Why are you there?
God
Are you
said,
the one?
come face me like a man. I said,
Were you
me.
there when I was setting
And God
things?
says, come face me like a man. I said,
like,
forgive
no,
me.
I'm
I
a
don't need
child.
answers. I was foolish. Forgive me.
Yeah.
But that was my wrestling, and it's created, that and some other things created a hesitation towards church. Not so much that I'm hurt, but I commit slower. I am the people that the pastor will be talking about who are pew warmers.
At the moment.
I am the people they will be saying, you just came for the word and went, it is me. I am the people who on some Sundays will show up for the worship and afterwards say, thank you, Miracle, you guys did a great job. Meanwhile, I left right after you sang the special, right after offertory. So I have found that even currently I have a desire for community, but I have such hesitation towards committing to a community. So I guess I'm in denial, because I'm like, oh, it's not hard. But my heart feels like, you guys, I want to go you slow. I want to go you slow, because I've been here before.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to commit to a place, but I also know what it can feel like.
Yeah.
So I can say that I'm trying to protect myself from burnout, but within the burnout were some hurt feelings, where some I don't feel valued. And there was also, God, how could you let them do this to me?
Yes.
So now you're mad at God and his people. You're like, you let them. So it's not just them, it's yours.
Yeah. I think picking from what you're saying, one of the things that I am seeing, that I think when we're discussing pain in the church or things that happen that kind of make us sad or break our hearts, we never really look at it from the side of the, should I say ministers? Like pastors or ushers or choir members and whatnot. It's normally a feeling of you who's just part of the congregation. You come in and someone talks to you badly and you're like, as if she's not a Christian. She's so, but from this, and I'm certain all of us here, unless you've never been hurt. Have you ever been hurt at the church, in the church, by a church?
I've been hurt by church members.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
definitely.
Yeah, so ideally what I'm saying is I think it's a hurt that hasn't been spoken about quite a bit, where you are the one who's constantly at the forefront of ministry, and there's like an illusion that you're not a human being.
And there's constant expectation from you.
True.
That a constant bar that you need to keep on hitting and reaching and everything. But church hurt comes up in different forms, different facets. There's also one of the things that for me God has been telling me, if I want to desist the space of, let's say, burnout or feeling used, then I need to go back to him on a constant. Because if you're not being filled, then you keep pouring, and now you just feel used. Because there's nothing else that keeps coming back. And also, sometimes I would get the feeling of not being valued or validated or whatnot, because I was expecting to hear it from human beings.
It's true.
Yet, I have like their KPIs, so for them that's what they are going by.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I want this validation of how amazing I am or what, like, I just go back to my creator, because for him, regardless of what my JD looks like, or regardless of did I show up and serve, or did I show up and do this, he's still proud of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he still calls me loved. He says I'm chosen, I'm favored, I'm blessed. He says all these amazing things to me. Yeah, so sometimes maybe we have self-imposed church hurt.
Yeah.
Personally, I had a season where I was telling God, now you see, and then he's just like pointing it back at like, they said because
Yeah.
you did.
You didn't even do that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. Yeah, so what did you
God,
expect?
they said Maisha sucked, and they said, beloved, it did.
It did. You did a bad job.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't like help you on this one.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you. How has the church hurt you?
Wow. I didn't see this coming. Like,
Yeah.
but I think for me, oh my goodness, this is even.
Is it fresh? Is it still
I think
paining here?
It's something I've been able to walk through, but I think the most recent, and for me it's been the biggest. I think the others were like really minor, but I think the biggest was something was happening in my life. So I want to paint the picture without exactly like exposing the
It is well, take your
So,
time.
just follow me, yeah?
Yeah.
So something is happening in my life, but I have no idea it's happening. But people on the outside can see it.
Yeah.
You get it? And so I am completely oblivious and happily going through life. Happily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody around can see it. Now, there's people within church, out of church that I knew that could see it. And so instead of
Being
them
a
coming
brother's
to
keeper.
yes,
Okay.
being a brother's keeper and coming to tell me, you kind of want to take note of this that's happening to you. They gossiped about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they were just talking to each other about it.
Because I was going to ask, were they close enough to tell you? But if they felt like they could gossip, they could tell you.
Yes.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
if they felt like they couldn't tell me, there were friends who had the permission because of proximity to me to tell me. So if they felt like they couldn't tell me, they could have approached one of my friends to tell me, but they
Yeah.
didn't. And so it was a thing of later on, I find out, so this has been happening.
Yeah.
And so there's dealing with that. But then later on, I learned, so y'all knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
And let me tell you, for a long time, I tried to justify it. I tried to make excuses for them in my head because I knew these are people I'm serving with in church. These are people I am meeting every other time I walk into the
daily, yeah.
church building. And so I didn't want to, I was doing my best to be the good one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe they were finding it hard. And I was really trying to make excuses for them until one day the pain really weighed in on me. Like, no, they had no right to do that.
Yeah.
Like that was wrong. That was unfair. And some of them, like when I started to find out the individuals that knew about it and even the ones that were propagating the gossip, I was just like, but you could have told me.
Yes.
Like you and I actually have
Rapport.
maybe, yeah, like we're not maybe that close, but I think you could have brought it up. You really could have. And so for me, that was the most recent. And I was just shocked.
Yeah.
I asked questions in my head. I was just like, for a moment, I felt like I want to be able to walk into the building and not smile at anyone. Like I want to show people that by the way, I'm
Like you and
disconnected
me,
from y'all
Yeah. By
the
because
way.
y'all are
Just
Snakes.
yeah.
in the green grass.
green grass, chameleons.
Wow.
But I think one of the things that really, really helped me during that time, because I was sorting through so much pain, what had happened, then the people that were involved,
Yeah.
then the people that were not involved, but so, like I was sorting through so much. And I remember feeling, thank you. I remember this time. There was this time where, so our church has different branches.
Yeah.
I did not want to go to the main branch at all for anything. And I tried to stay away for close to 2 months. Yeah. I rejected requests to serve
Yeah.
because I didn't want. So I would go to the branch that's closest to home because I would walk in for the last service and walk out very fast.
Like I wasn't here.
Like
Nope.
like y'all didn't see me. So that's how I tried to handle being around church until I got to a point and realized, okay, how long will I do this for?
Yeah.
How long? Like how long is this going to go on for? And I remember taking the pain to God, and I think what really helped me was realizing that we are all on different journeys of sanctification.
Yeah.
5 or 7 years back, I would have done that too.
Cancelled,
Yeah.
deleted numbers.
Yeah, no,
That you're among the numbers being deleted.
I would have been the one gossiping instead of
Yes.
walking up to a friend and saying, you know what, maybe you should pay attention
Yeah.
to this. I definitely would have been that. And so realizing that what I couldn't do 7 years ago, God has helped me now
able
realize
to
that
do
it's
it now.
wrong. They could be at that point.
Yes.
And so that's what kept on helping. Every time I would have the thoughts of, but these people, I'd remember, okay, God, they are
Yeah.
a work in progress, and God, those are your people. This is how I feel about them. Help me. And so with time, it started to be easier. Now, of course, I feel very cautious around them.
Yeah.
I'm very careful not to say certain things that I wouldn't want them to know around them, because I just still have that bit of, are you really?
You
Yeah.
trustworthy.
Yeah. So I think that's for me. That's the most
Question.
painful. Mhm.
Do you think it has something to do with the fact that maybe so often we haven't cultivated a habit of healthy confrontation?
Yes.
We don't know how to have tough conversations because we're
Yes.
supposed to love each other all the time anyway,
Yes.
and love is nice.
Yeah.
Love should never tell you your hair looks bad.
However, when we go to Corinthians, it describes love as patient, as kind, and I don't think you'd require patience if it was going to
wasn't
come
needed.
easy. Yes, yeah. And I really think that what you're talking about, confrontation, is a biggest propagator of church hurt. And I say this because what could have been sorted in a conversation ends up being someone walking out forever.
Yeah.
And then
telling
maybe,
themselves a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
8 years later, maybe a story comes back to you and you're like, what? That's not true. I could have gone and clarified, and that my brother, my sister would still be here with me. For me, it's very similar with what Mbithi is talking about. I remember having a time of telling God, but the truth is me, I want to go. I'm only here because you're insisting I should stay. He said, my friend, either you're here 100% or you go. And the day I had that, I said, but God, I don't know any other place but you. Like, so if you're telling me I go, I leave the church and whatever, yet you're requiring of continuous fellowship, you're seeing all these, don't give up the habit of meeting together and all these things. And then
And you
meanwhile,
will miss it, by the way.
yeah. And you're in a spot where people are still coming to you. Like for you, you're trying to retract. You're going back, pushing back. People are still coming to you or calling you and saying, Hash, help me through this. Or pray with me on this. I'm like,
Oh, we haven't seen
you pray with me. Because do you know?
I don't want you to even
Even me,
pray
I
with
have
me.
Yes,
Go and pray
like,
for me.
please
Away.
help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when he said that, I just felt like, God, Kale, you're tough. But I've gotten the point, because the truth is, I don't know any other thing but God. And there were days I would just sit in those pews and be irritated. I think one of the moments last year, but it started quite a number of years ago, that for me, I call such a mercy. Of course, working at a Christian organization, before I even began to work, I was volunteering, that I had volunteered in a space for a very long time. And one of the things that I'm so grateful God allowed me to see was the humanness of my pastors. Because the truth is, when you sit in the pews, you're just like, this guy, flawless.
Yeah.
What a wonder. Wow.
Angel
His
Michael.
wife is
Yeah.
beautiful.
You know,
his children are
Gabriel.
perfect.
Everything is
His
together.
family.
And he has
Mom,
taught a
wow.
good summer.
How do I
on.
reach this level? Tell me. Yeah. But I call it a mercy because in my head, I was starting to build like towers and idols for these people. And there were times either the pastor would draw you in close enough that you would get to see him
Yeah. And you're like,
in his element. And you're like, even
You also
kumbe.
quarrel?
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
and there were actually moments I've had conversations with pastors who, thank God, are like humble enough to come back and say, I spoke to you badly.
I'm sorry.
And I'm very sorry. And in that moment, you're realizing, oh, they know that it is wrong. So they're also human. They're like me on a journey. Yeah, they're pastors, or even maybe not even pastors, just people who are
Leadership,
in a leadership position, who are able to come back and say, truth is, I'm still struggling with this anger thing. It is not right for someone to speak to you like that. And if ever it happens, it is not right. And I apologize. And me, I'm, in a position of being an intern, this is not like a plug because Gloria is not a product, but I think working under Gloria's leadership really, for me, redefined many things. I had never seen a leader who could apologize. I didn't understand. Yeah. But like from that point, I realized, okay, we are all human beings, regardless of how much I see you are amazing.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I'm normally talking about is, oh my goodness, these musicians have their platforms built and they're so amazing and what, all these crazy things. And Gloria is always like, you think that because you're seeing them at the height of the thing that they are really, really good at. But when you see them on a normal day, you'll realize, okay, this is a human being.
Yeah.
And I think from seeing someone as a human being, then even the expectations will drop. Because, if ever I had a conversation with someone and they're like, man, you're so perfect, you're so... I'm like, me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Leave
not a
me.
lie.
I
I freak out when someone
Yeah, when
I
you're
want
like,
to
oh
be
my
you.
God, I want to... You want to... Me?
That's
You're sure?
I take this time to apologize,
But
by the way, too.
Because
But also,
like
concerning leadership, and both of them will testify, and they usually say, "Oh, it's just Gloria being Gloria." I like to share from my experience as a leader that, like everything you said, they're human beings. They're going through so much. They're at God's feet. When I was leading, Moses consoled me so much, Moses of the Bible and the book of Exodus. And you know which parts of Moses I love the most? Where he told God, these are your people. I don't want them.
I
Did
don't.
I create them? Because I also had so many prayers that sounded like that. It's like, God, these are your people. What do you want? Do something about it. But to constantly try as much as possible to put yourself in the other person's shoes. So I don't think you were doing a wrong thing asking when people had betrayed you. But I think where the problem usually is in trying to deny ourselves, and yet both of them can coexist.
Yes.
You can say, these people hurt me. Yes, maybe they are going through A, B, C, D, but what they did
Was
actually
wrong.
hurt me. It was wrong, and I feel like I cannot trust them. They would have to earn my trust back. Doesn't mean that you haven't forgiven them, but it means they might not have the position again where you get to tell them certain things. And so in that position, and it's something that I think I'm in Hash's inbox quite often. When I was away from radio, I should be telling me things, and I would feel like I haven't helped her because she would come complaining about a thing, and I would give her leader's perspective. I'd say, hey, I hear you and your feelings are very, very valid, but consider that there's so much that you don't know behind this person. And again, and when we take people off pedestals, it's easier to consider that.
That's true.
Yeah? Because somebody on a pedestal doesn't have a bad day. They are very good managers of their money, so they're never broke. And for them, like, they don't get hungry. And like, they don't get disappointed.
Mood switches,
and then their
nothing.
crushes text them back. And they get everything they want. So obviously, if they are mean to me, they woke up
And
determined
chose
to
to
be
be
mean to me. They are
that's the
then the insecurity comes in. Is there something wrong with me? God, la, 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 la. No, it's the pedestal. You've put them on. You're like, hey, human being, having a bad day.
Yes.
Sorry for them. Oh, went to tell the boss. Bad timing.
Yes.
Let me give it space. Oh, maybe I'm the wrong one. Miracle has a
Maybe,
better relationship. Miracle, go to tell them on her behalf that we want a pizza party. Me, if I go, they might chase me. And that has helped lighten my load a lot. And sometimes when it's too heavy, I go and pray. I go and pray. I say, Lord, kahasha,
Man.
man, Lord, the kangal you gave me. She's taking me. And it has helped a lot. And that is something I think that comes with maturity over time, to have a very honest conversation with, you want to leave the church. Why?
Yeah. What's the why?
are you having those conversations with God, and what is he saying?
Yeah.
Because he will respond to you. Has he said, go? If you are sure, you go.
Yeah.
But have you had the conversation with God about how you feel and the decision you want to make because of how you feel?
I think a very important point there is the fact that, and this doesn't just apply to leaders alone, but I think us realizing, I think, okay, well, I'm thinking as I speak, really, so forgive the scatteredness, but I think many times we are hurt by church because of our expectations of Christians. Like, you ought to know better, or at
Yes.
least
And to act better. Don't just know.
Yes.
Walk the talk.
You know?
You're here saying the things, I've seen your statuses, but you have a bad heart.
No, and you know, one of the things that I learned a while back, I don't remember who was sharing it, but they said a church is like a hospital.
Of course.
Some are responding to medicine, some are not. So if you think about a hospital, some people are in ICU, others have come in for a simple Panado, and they'll be out that same day.
Yeah.
Others are going to be admitted for 4 months,
Yeah.
right? Meanwhile, the whole time they are not even responding. Yeah. So if we look at it in that perspective, and also like what we were saying earlier, with when it comes to sanctification, if I'm getting sanctified, you're being sanctified, you're also being sanctified, and now we are in relationship together. Do you know what's happening? Friction.
Yes.
Because everyone has a layer they are peeling off.
shading off, yeah.
And so while I'm peeling off my lying, maybe you are lying in your previous season, now you're looking at me like, as in, who lies?
Yeah.
Who
She's peeling
tells
off pride.
lies?
Yeah,
Yeah. Now it's like you've dealt with the lies. Now her pride has come in. Now me, I'm dealing with lies. Now first she's going to start dealing with pride. So we all look at ourselves like, as in,
Yeah.
that quote that people normally put around judging people for sinning differently than you. And many times I think that is a major cause of church hurt, because in all honesty, if we all remember that we are sinners saved by grace
On our journey.
every single day.
When we confess Christ, we are continually being made like Christ
Exactly.
until the day he comes for us. And so I think that's an important reminder. Like, even when you are trying to, even when you're thinking that, okay, church people, really, we're on journeys, all of us. And there are things we knew we are going to keep knowing better.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to
And
put it. Yeah.
sometimes I feel like we take the God thing, the whole Christianity thing, lighter than we take any other thing. For example, if I was at a workplace and my boss shouted at me, probably go to the bathroom, cry it out, be like, yeah, we can do this.
Need the money.
Yeah, we need bills gotta be paid, yeah. And then you come back, you sit, you compose yourself. They shout at you again, and another day you're like, why?
You go back to your
Then you
bed.
start saying, work is work, I leave it at
Yes,
work.
I just
Some
leave it
custom
there.
loved at home.
Yeah.
But for church.
But for church, if someone steps on your shoe and doesn't turn to say sorry, that's the last
Christians.
time. By the way, that church, that more church, those big girls, I'm like, hey,
Then you
sis.
bundle them up, and
Yes.
then sometimes, but also we cannot escape the fact that all these things are spiritual.
That's
so
true.
that offense always has more
True.
cast in the bus,
Yes.
because you
Yeah.
can see people who were in the same situation as you, but the way they talk about it, you're like,
Yes.
but I was
Yes.
there. But the way
Yeah.
they talk about it, and
Yeah.
of course, there's this thing called virtue signaling, especially on Twitter. You come out, you say a certain thing so that people who talk like that can like you and maybe think you're one of them. And so a lot of that also happens. So we also have to carefully guard our hearts against this offense and say, you know what, Lord, maybe I've stepped out of church for a long time. I was considering going back. Now it's the tweets that are making me apprehensive.
Yes.
Maybe I should log out of Twitter, go into a place of prayer
Yes.
to find out if I should go, where I should go, when I should go, where are you
Yeah.
leading me? Because I remember telling a person one time when they were telling me they were considering leaving a church, and I said, hey, I don't discredit your reasons, but remember they're all the same. You're going to find people
Yes, the same exact
same things
stuff.
in different-
everywhere.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't leave because you're offended. Leave because God is guiding you.
And I think that unfortunately we're in a generation that kind of doesn't give any, I don't know, value to that.
Yeah.
Also, this brings me to like another angle of like church heart of some sort. Like when it comes to, let's say, the pastors, the leaders, reverends, whatever, people who have walked alongside you on a spiritual journey, and then you up and uproot yourself from their, okay, I want to say covering, but that's more Christianese.
Their
but
guardian.
like, yes. So you
Okay, then
just,
it's less
you
Christianese.
you see? But like, you decide, okay, I'm moving on. New
Yeah.
church, new me, new year, new me. You're cutting off everything. It's not good for you.
Yeah.
And along with that goes your old community. Why it can go in the category of a certain form of church hurt is because there were leaders who took off their time to walk with you, to even give you transport back to campus, or to visit you at campus, or to pray with you while your mother was sick, or to just do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That now you've not accorded them the courtesy to
Walk
say,
back and
by
ask
the
for their
way,
blessing
yes,
at
to
the
say,
very least.
by the way, I feel like God is leading me to go to a new space. Because for me, I'm one of those who's big on not pledging allegiance to where
It's not about personalities.
It's not
yeah.
about a church. It's not about the pastor. Like if God called me to move to another church, I'd say, it will be difficult because I've known one church for a very long time. But honestly, I'm not going to be disobedient. I will up and leave. Yeah, but I will have the courtesy to tell the people that have been walking with me, by the way, this is how I've been praying. This is what I've been getting. Maybe let's pray together. I'm going, but I don't want to live in just, bye.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
up and leave and be like, you mean to say God doesn't talk to me? You think he only talks to you? He told me. He'll also tell you at an appointed time. Why?
Yeah.
So I feel like we pretend like the people in leadership have no feelings or are just there. They are working for my Lord. Why are they acting
Concerned about-
like, yeah?
Shepherds, I am the sheep. They're working for me.
But I think we need to again be reminded that people in church are human beings.
Yeah.
And because they're human beings, just because you got saved, your emotions don't switch off. I mean, Jesus wept. Really? Yeah. The man himself was in an emotional box for a minute. Yeah.
Overturned tables.
So
You know,
you get
yeah.
like he had all of these things that he was feeling. So think about your pastor who's worked with you for 15 years and now you're up and outing, or worked with you for 2 years, or worked with you 6 months and really committed their time.
Yes. Invested in you.
Invested and like helped you through things, and then you're just like
out.
Tupac some out of your game.
Yeah. Now, we really actually need to bring this to a close, but I really feel like there's this one aspect of church heart that we need to address before we're like, bye guys. So there's these friends of ours, brothers and sisters, one body, yeah? There's these brothers and sisters of ours who walk away from the church because they feel like they've been deceived.
Okay.
They, let me just be as I don't know,
Candid.
plain and candid as possible. They sat under bad teaching
Yeah.
for a really long time. They were convinced that if they gave, they could get healed.
Yeah.
Or if they gave more, their businesses would expand or
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
you know, or if they, and giving is good. Okay, guys, please, giving is good. I'm sorry for using that alone. Or they just feel like,
Yeah.
okay,
Is this really good?
is this really,
And
like
if this is good,
eventually,
I don't want.
yes. So even they come to a place where they realize that we've been deceived this whole time. And now they feel like, you know what?
Feel like nothing
This
is
whole
true.
yeah, this whole God thing, I'm good without it. And I've encountered many people like that.
Yeah.
My first question to them is usually, where was your Bible the whole time? That's my first question. But at the same time, I don't want to I don't I don't want to invalidate what they're feeling
Yeah.
because it's right. They have been deceived and they were gullible, and so somebody else took advantage, or maybe didn't intentionally take advantage. But
Yeah.
you get what I mean. I don't want to invalidate them, but at the same time, I'm thinking I can't shake off the feeling that you're both wrong. The preacher and the congregant, you are both wrong
Yeah.
because one took advantage, the other was just not being cautious enough
Yeah.
by using the one tool that God gave us, which is the Bible.
Hey.
That's a heavy one.
Yeah.
And somebody like that, I think I would just like to say that God is good.
Yeah.
And he will pursue them, whether they want to be pursued or not. If you have somebody like that in your life, take heart. God loves them more than you could ever love them.
Yeah. But don't stop praying for
Pray
them.
for
yeah.
them, because pray for them and get direction. Sometimes the Lord will ask you to step back and let
Yeah.
him do the work that he's doing in his child's life. And you might be part of it, you might not be part of it. They might need this wilderness season. They might need time away before they can come back and be able to hear certain things. So, but that one is really a heavy one because spiritual matters are very sensitive.
Extremely.
People in authority carry a lot of power. So it's
Yeah.
easy to be deceived. And sometimes
Yeah.
people have been deceived since they were children.
Yes.
So they looked up to these people.
Yeah.
So
They didn't know better.
would like to say sorry on behalf of the church
Yeah.
for the times we've not represented well.
Yeah.
But if the church has hurt you, give God a chance.
Yes. Recently, I think I was listening to something, and someone was talking about I think if you baked a cake and the cake didn't turn out right, would you blame the cake or I don't know, something just to explain that many times we get pissed at God because of what a person has done, and yet God and the people are different. God is trying to make us closer to him, like to, get closer to his character and everything on a daily, that for him he's perfect, he's loving, he's everything that you are looking for. Like I don't have another way to put it, really. For me, the final church hurt that, for this one, I'll even just look at you directly. If you're hurt or if you left the church because someone called you out on something, and even you,
And they were right.
but now you became shame overpowered you, and you said no.
Yeah, instead of dealing with my sin
Bye. Yeah.
as if you're perfect. You call me
Yeah.
out as if you're perfect. You don't sin. You don't.
Hey.
Okay, I'm out.
I think if that's you, you should DM DJ Hash on Twitter.
Please, no, but for real, I think that one is the other kind of self-imposed church hurt, where, for example, if Gloria discovers I'm sleeping around and says, my sister, my sister, yeah, this thing that you're
The
doing,
standard
yeah,
has really
please,
dropped.
yeah, yeah. Then I'm like, as in, but even you the other time, I saw you. You saw her doing what? Okay, but is this the right time to be calling out someone just because they've called you out? Also, take a moment. Yes, the first time you hear it, it might be like, all guards might go up and be like, sit with it, have a conversation with God, can open the Bible just to be certain that Gloria is not trying to impose some standard on you that's not there. Yeah. But also, I feel it is very important to allow for people in your life who can call you out. I feel like when we get to that place where we are above reproach, any time now, we will leave the church.
Yeah.
It is definite, because if someone comes to advise me, yet I feel like I should be advising them, of course I no longer belong in this space. You feel you can talk to me? Me? Do you know me? Excuse me, please. Know yourself, yeah? And so when you get into that prideful thing, yeah, anytime. Yeah.
All this to say, I think the best way we can bring this to a close is just don't project the character of man onto God. If men if men hurt you, that's not how God is.
That's true. Our God is love. He's like Gloria had a season of saying, like, on our birthdays, the only thing she'd wish for is njagala mukama kukwani, which is like in English, I want God to vibe. Okay, that's slang still.
Nice vibe.
Yeah, like, I don't know, to just
Vibe you
woo
like a high
you.
school boy.
Yes.
Woo you,
Thank you so
yeah.
much. Like,
Yeah.
woo you so much that you can't deny it anymore. You're just like, Bananga, I'm so overwhelmed.
I'm too loved.
It's so much, yeah. That I think when we get to that place, because I realize church hurt will never stop.
Oh, no.
I think we all know that it will never stop.
Not at all.
Even just the other day, I can tell you, yeah, Munanga, they said this and I said this, then they said, and like we were just there hurting each other back and forth. And even us sitting at this table have been part of the cause.
Oh,
of
yes.
church
We
hurt.
have hurt people too.
And for that, truly, we apologize. Yeah. But one of the things to just know, it will never go away, because human beings will forever be human beings. Yeah. Not that you should make excuses for people and be like, they told us human beings are human beings. No. Hold people accountable.
Yeah.
True. But do not be living at every... Kale, he didn't greet me the other day. I greeted him and he didn't greet me.
Slightest inconvenience.
Yeah. People are putting up with so much more because the God that they serve is the one that, I don't know how to put it, stands before, like between me and
Everything.
Mbithi,
There's
there's
God.
God. Yeah. So Kale Mbithi has hurt me, but I will first always look at God and then remember, oh, anyway, let me pray for her.
Yeah.
It will really hurt. Church hurt doesn't stop hurting. Like, and to say church, we are a body. Yeah. So if I've done the thing, she has also done it to me. Like, it's continuous. And earlier we're giving the example of, when you leave the church, you kind of like detach from a fellowship or a gathering, a space where you're feeding from every day. It's like saying you cut off, okay, a finger. The finger is now living large in Entebbe. Then the rest of the body is like in Ntinda.
Living small.
Blasting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, one side is saying, I'm thriving.
Yeah, I'm good
getting
without them.
Yeah, I'm getting all the nutrients. But as a finger, if they cut it off, of course, as I've said, it
Where
will
you
dry
feeding
up. And
from?
yeah, so as a body, we are better together, interconnected, and like doing life together. Even the heart that is coming through interacting is definitely bringing out the best in us.
Yeah.
Because how else will you express love without someone to express it to? How will you be patient? How will you be kind? How will you do all these different things, that God is calling us to do without community? And I mean, the Bible says, how can you say you love God if you don't love
You. The one that you can see.
seeing? Yeah. So if you've left because you're feeling, I can't have no more love to give this human being, please return and give God a chance.
Yeah.
Not the church, give God a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, till next time. Bye. Bye. Again.